Okay. We're back on Wednesday at our flagship show, Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy. And our major player here today is Leslie Cole Brooks, who has been with us a couple of times before, and who for a long time was the executive director of the Hawaii Solar Energy Association. Who's a major player in solar energy in Hawaii, and still is. And also Sharon Moriwaki. She joins us because she's a co-host today, and Ray Starling is likewise a co-host, and so we have lots of hosts, and Leslie in the middle of the sandwich.
And very good Leslie.
And the story today is about a new organization that Leslie is now heading, and that's the DER Council, referred to affectionately by some of its friends as DERC.
You're right, and that's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
Affectionately referred to as. And I actually just discovered that the word DERC in Scottish means a short stabbing instrument. And I guess that's what we'll do if things get really desperate. No, only. But so DER stands for Distributed Energy Resources, and actually it's Distributed Energy Resources Council of Hawaii, because we expect that this organization will likely expand to other jurisdictions in other states, because as we all know, Hawaii is at the forefront, right? We have the highest percentage of distributed rooftop solar in the nation per capita, and we're on to phase 2 now. And so this idea of distributed energy resources expanding beyond just DG is the next phase.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well let's approach this with sort of a preliminary, lay of the land kind of thing. So distributed energy resources. What?
oh yeah.
Wait,
What? Who are you and how did you get in here?
how did you forget our megawatt moment?
Oh, okay.
Why are the
I'm not
hosts
Rachel.
growing?
No, you're not
If
Rachel.
Rachel were
If Rachel were
here,
here,
he
we
would be
you don't count.
This is
deferring.
not a comedy show. This is a serious show about energy. I want to be clear about that. And Ray is an important person about renewable energy, or rather energy efficiency,
Energy
also
efficiency.
renewable energy, and he has something for
Yes,
you.
well, I just want to take a moment today, the negawatt moment, to talk about Hawaii Energy, which is the efficiency and conservation program for the state. We actually serve all of the islands that Hawaiian Electric serves. And I wanted to show you, we've just come out with our annual report for the year that ended June 30th. And it's online. So you can go to our website, hawaiienergy.com, and take a look at it. And it's got all the facts and figures about what's been happening in energy efficiency. And energy efficiency here in Hawaii is very important because, as Leslie will tell you, before you start doing the electric production, whether it's fossil or renewable, you really need to do everything you can to cut down the waste of energy and to put in the most efficient products that you can to keep from using more electricity than you need to. And when you do that, it makes everything else that you want to do with the grid, the renewables, and battery storage, whatever, it makes it a lot easier, cheaper, faster, and better.
And it's something you have to address first. It's a priority at
Well,
the top.
it is a priority thing. You don't need to do everything, but you need to certainly look at it because it could cut down the amount of money that you have to spend on the production side of things. And you can always use that money for something else. So if you're interested, take a look at our annual report and go to our website. There are all kinds of special deals coming up that you can find on our website, and it will help you through education and actual incentives that we give to encourage people to do the right thing and do energy efficiency before they really get serious about renewable energy or connecting to fossil generators.
That's the wisdom. So that's pretty thick, but could I ask you, give us some metrics? I mean, you're reporting something. You guys are so dedicated, you're so creative, you work so hard, come down here every week with your staff. It's really been, you know, an essential part of our presentation to talk about energy efficiency. But give us some metrics
Well,
out of the report.
Some good metrics are that, and by the way, the program is funded by the people that pay a small fee on their Hawaiian Electric and Hawaiian Electric Company power bills. And so everybody pays a little bit into it, and that money is collected and given to the PUC to distribute as they see fit to us with guidance as to what they want us to do with it. And so we go out and try to do the things that they want us to do to get people to save energy. And so with that funding, we're able to get people to do things. We don't always pay for all of the cost of something that we ask people to do, but we give them enough that it maybe pushes them over the edge and makes them want to go and do it. And so what we've done over the last 6 years, we have encouraged people to install equipment that saves right now right around $1 billion over the last 6 years. And over the next several years that these devices will still be in operation and still saving money, we estimate that maybe around $2.5 billion will be saved by the small fee that they pay on their power bill that is used for the program. So
That's huge leverage.
it's you know, a couple of $1 billion is not small change.
Yeah. Very important as we go forward on the energy initiative to always be mindful of this. It's like we can't forget this because it's, as I said, top of mind. And you've managed to make it top of mind. You've rolled it out in certain ways and affected public conduct and opinion by so many. Gee, I never know how you think of them. 3 o'clock in the morning, creative ideas.
Incentives.
You know, always incentivizing people.
Well,
always
I
trying to
don't
change
do it.
public-
I've got a great staff, and they, in fact, you see a number of them coming down here and giving the Negawatt moment. And we appreciate being able to be a part of this show and get the word out. We're kind of preaching to the choir, though. Here, I think most of the people who are watching this show are interested in energy, and they already know that energy efficiency is a good bet.
But you know, it's not over, because as every idea that you think of leads to another idea, and there's a million ideas left in the marble that you're going to carve.
Right.
So,
But I'm very interested in hearing what Leslie is wanting to talk about, because I think she's on the pointy end of the spear going forward. And
I don't know if that's really a compliment.
she's been on the point. Actually, she's been on the pointy end, but it has evolved. It's evolved, and she's had to climb out further onto the point. And so she's really getting into it now. So I'm really interested in hearing what she has to say.
Okay, so let's talk about your transition.
Okay.
You know, just tell us what happened.
Okay, well, what happened, and what's happening, is that it became more and more clear that we couldn't just keep doing rooftop PV and get to 100% RPS. And if you know anything about the dockets that are going on, the DER docket, the Distributed Energy Resources docket, PSIP coming up, everything going on at the legislature, is we're looking to move ahead to have a smart grid, to have storage, to have demand response, to keep at it with efficiency, all of that all together. EVs, you hear a lot about that, using up all this excess energy in the middle of the day. But there was no one group that was focused on moving into that phase 2. Especially with storage, I heard so much about storage. Well, it's so important, but no one group was doing that. And it just became apparent that we needed to have organization, collaboration, and a common vision with a group of different companies coming together. And that's really kind of how it happened.
Yeah, okay.
Leslie, what are the companies and how did they get together?
Well, I think they've been talking about it for quite a while, but right now, so the founding companies are in alphabetical orders. So they're eGear, which is a smart storage company.
What's the name again?
eGear. It's a Hawaii base, and it comes from Kumukit, from the Hawaii Energy Connection. Enphase, which is a smart inverter company, right? And they have their probably, I think they have the highest market share of inverters here in Hawaii already. So they're very involved. They've been involved with the Maitai group, which is the group that's been working with the utility on all the smart inverter, all the next changes that we need to make in order to make sure our grid is safe and reliable. High Grid Energy, which is an energy consulting company that has a focus on distributed energy resources globally. STEM, which I'm sure you've heard about, right? So they're another smart storage. Actually, smart is probably the word that I could apply to every single company. Hawaii Energy Connection, which is a rooftop solar, and Tabuchi, which is a manufacturer, Japanese manufacturer, and they do all kinds of different energy products.
Storage.
So yeah,
Or
yeah.
more than.
Well, they had inverters, and but they're looking to the whole big picture. So those are the founding companies.
I wanted you to list
So-
them because I want them all on the show here, one by one.
Oh, good. No, it'd be really
I hope
good.
you help us get them on the show.
Oh, I'd love to
Kathy.
help you do that. Yeah. So I hope I got them. I just started basically on Monday, so
my goodness.
I had to put this in Braille because I need my reading glasses. So anyway,
It's
so,
okay. Use
so
the
if
reading
you don't mind, because that would be a disaster. Okay.
Check to
Yeah.
be sure we didn't miss it.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh my God, I'm here for a week and gone the next week. Yeah. So that's the collection of companies. So it's storage, demand response, smart grid. EVs really make sense as we move forward, but it's grid connected and it's distributed. Those are the things that we're especially interested in, and providing services to the electrical grid that are going to benefit everybody. We have a pillar of 5 things, if I could work that in at some point.
Please.
So, okay.
Yeah, we want to know everything.
Okay.
pillar.
I don't think I need my glasses for this. They're really big. So, okay. Well, first that it's clean, because we're all about how are we going to get to our 100% RPS, right? We have this. We have to make it. We have this goal. We've all worked so hard. Everyone is watching. The whole nation is watching us. And how are we going to do it? We can't just keep up with the status quo and expect we're going to succeed, right? We've got to get really smart, innovative, collaborative how we do that. So the first tenets of our 5 pillars of getting to our 100% RPS is that it's clean, renewable energy. So no more fossil fuels. We're done with that, right? We're on our way to being done with that. So that's the first. Next, it's reliable. It needs to be safe and reliable, obviously. We can't have something that isn't safe, isn't reliable. Our electrical grid needs to work. Ironically, when I left today, my power went out. So, anyway. Okay.
It was helping to prepare you for this.
Well, no, I was actually, and I thought, oh, okay, I can't look that up. All right, so clean, reliable, sustainable. It needs to be sustainable. There's all kinds of great new things that come out, but it needs to be something that we can keep doing for the long haul, not just a great idea for this year. It needs to be sustainable.
I always ask the same question when I hear somebody use that word.
Oh, what
do
is
you
it?
mean by sustainable?
Sustainable is something that you can continue to do and still be healthy, happy, keep smiling, and standing on your own 2 feet.
And don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry. It's worry-free.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
You heard it here on ThinkTech.
Yeah. And it's not that you don't have to think it through, but it's not just, I have this great idea today, but then in 2 weeks it probably won't be a hot idea. That is not sustainable. Just like eating a cheesecake every day is
It's
not
not
sustainable. Not that I would ever do that,
No.
but I did hear you say about your ice cream. So, okay, so clean, reliable, sustainable, collaborative. We all have to work together. And of course, that includes the utility. We're not looking to make the utility go out of business. We're not looking to find a way for everybody to go off grid and then leave the people who are left to kind of figure it out. That we want the utility to be robust and vital, to make sense, to make a living, to find a way to work with what this next century looks like, right? Because it's not like it used to be. And they need to adapt and find ways to make a good living, but sustainable for industry and for all the ratepayers, for all of us.
Sounds like inherent in the notion of collaborative is transparent.
Yes,
Because you can't collaborate unless you talk to
Right,
each other, and you
absolutely.
have to reveal things. And
you do.
you have to let the other guy in. Yeah.
You do, and you have to Yeah, say, well, this is what I need to keep going, what do you need? And yeah, maybe that hurts your bottom line. Well, how can we work with this so that it's, again, and that's part of the sustainable too, right?
Yes. it
So,
is.
I mean, we need to have
You
an
can't be
electrical
sustainable
grid.
without it.
No, you really can't.
It's for the long haul,
Yeah.
to trust and develop that trust, if that's the only way to do that.
Right, absolutely. So,
Hey, Ray, she's listed 4. There's
I'm
one left.
trying to
No, you
see.
can't.
Can you
I'm
see?
trying to see.
I
What's
want to
the
ask
fifth
you
one?
to guess what the fifth one is.
you can see I had this for a presentation. I had it balled up in my pocket in case, yeah, that's why
Don't go to
it's so
5.
rumpled.
We're going to take a break.
Oh, okay.
So this is what they call generating a cliffhanger.
Oh, I love that.
Hi, I'm Ethan Allen. I host Likeable Science on ThinkTech Hawaii, and I do this because I care about science literacy in Hawaii. I want to spread the understanding that science is a vital and interesting part of everyone's life. I want to make sure the broadest possible spectrum of people understand the beauty and the value of science and realize that science plays out each and every day of their lives. I want you to understand that science is fun. So we bring onto this show each week guests who are scientists, from astronomers to zoologists, and we talk about what they do and how they do it. But most importantly, we talk about why you should care about their work, why you should see that their work has value and impact on your life. So I hope you'll join us Fridays, 1 p.m. here on ThinkTech Hawaii. You can watch us via live stream. You can watch us recorded on Olelo, and you can see us each week. We hope you'll join us.
Oh, we're back with Leslie Cole Brooks on a cliffhanger. I guess everybody is out there wondering about
What is it? What
point
is it?
number 5.
Yeah.
Ray was going to take an educated guess.
pillar.
What is it,
I
Ray?
think-
I don't know.
The 5th pillar, what is it, Ray?
No, I took my eyes off of it. I don't know what it is.
Save money.
So,
Oh, yeah,
You
save
know,
money.
you're on the, yes, basically. So if you were just to use one word, it would be fair, that it's fair. It's fair to all the ratepayers, it's transparent, and also that with these smart systems, you can, for instance, export onto the electrical grid when the utility needs it. You could export different kinds of things, like VAR that helps clean up that electricity. Or you could take it back if they need you to take it back. There's all kinds of really interesting things that technology can do, but what's that worth?
Yeah.
Do you just
It's
do it
worth-
because are you a nice person? Or do you get compensated for that? If you
Well, you
use
need
grid
to be
services,
compensated, yeah.
do you get that just because you're a good person, or do you pay for that? So that there's fair compensation both ways, giving and receiving.
You know, I don't know why this reminds me.
Why
of
are you smiling like this?
I'm
Yeah,
thinking of
yeah.
Shalonda Baker.
Oh, yeah.
She's the energy teacher faculty at the law school, and she came on our show maybe 3 months ago, like that. And her thing was, ready? Energy justice,
Yeah,
because at the law school does justice.
yeah.
By the way, I don't want to scare anybody, but everybody here at this table is aware. Now, what you're talking about is slightly different. It's a sort of subset of energy justice.
It is.
It's grid justice.
It is.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
when you think about it, though, that what you really want, what would maximize everything, is to have everybody connected to the grid, so that you could help out when the grid needs help with your excess energy. You could store it until a better time to release it to the grid. But you need the grid, and you need the utility company to run the grid, to make it work. And you need all the people that are members of your organization to be doing their thing to make the grid work. So it's really not, it's not even a wise thing for people to be like going off the grid because they can. A lot of people could, but we're all better off if we're connected together. And that's one of the things I think is the real exciting part about what you're doing. You're helping to facilitate the things that we really haven't gotten our arms around yet, in terms of all these entities that will maybe just facilitate the things happening, not generate or use, but make it all happen like it needs to.
One thing is clear to me. I mean, there's a sort of sea change here. Leslie represents a sea. This event, this development, Monday, represents a sea change. And one of the things inherent in that is something you said, is that we are not really considering going off the grid anymore. If you went back, say, 3, 4, 5 years, you would have heard a lot of talk about going off the grid, and even microgrid. I mean, part of this is moving from there too. But I think it's come clear to us as a community or an industry that the most equitable way to do this is as a community, and we shouldn't be running for the hills, because that's somehow, may I say, unfair. And I think it's a very worthy point in your list of the preamble list that you identified. But it represents a change in public thinking. It's not just you, it's the way this whole thing evolves. We're not really interested in going off the grid anymore. That's old. The other thing is, just a reaction now, you're the technology guy. This is all the technology. This is inherent in what you said, Ray. We had all this technology. We talked about the technology. We haven't actually executed a lot of this. We're waiting for Godot. We're waiting for smart grid. We're waiting for little black boxes that do really important things. Hasn't happened. It's an aspirational discussion. And now, your organization actually bears the promise of bringing this technology into the system and connecting all the pieces with technology that we've been hoping for. This is no pressure, Leslie.
Well, I heard it great. I heard it. I thought this summed it up perfectly. I was at a conference a couple of months ago, and there was a panel, and this wonderful man from STEM was on the panel, and he was asked at the very end about, well, what do you see? What do we need to do? Could you just put it in like 2 words, like how you do that? And he said, less batteries, more brains. And so here's a company that does intelligent storage, and it's not just about, me put storage, I mean, storage is great. It's just you have to be smart about how you use it, when you use it, where do you use it, how much does it cost, how does it interact with your neighbors with the electrical grid.
Absolutely.
And we don't want to go back and do it again. So we need to do it right the first time. We don't want to do a Germany here. And so, yeah, I guess I will be the translator for some of those engineers that come in sometimes and they just go blah, 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 and say, what? But we gotta, I know it's right, but let's get this straightforward so that we can really make it work.
It's a delivery thing. It's saying, we need to be connected on this, that, or the other thing. We need to have this kind of technology now. How are we going to do it?
Yeah.
And I suspect that, your list of whatever, 5 or 6 people, it's just the beginning. Just the beginning. Because there are other technologies out there that may be here, maybe not here.
Oh, you mean the list of the members?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant our pillars.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. We've actually gotten lots of interest, and I'm just kind of getting ahead of it, of sending out materials and talking to people. And Hawaii is where it's happening. They see it, that we are what's going to happen, coming soon to a jurisdiction near you.
But you could be kind of a lightning rod on this. What I mean is, so I'm some entrepreneur and I'm making some traction in Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati. And, I think maybe, and Hawaii is a laboratory. People know that, or they think it.
No, we are.
And so, and so
because
I have
if
this
we mess
widget
up, we
that
can't just say to Oregon, "Oh, we made a big mistake.
No,
Can we borrow some energy?"
So I think that you might benefit, or the state might benefit by my widget that I've developed in Cincinnati. Now, I could get on the phone and I could call the government. That may not work.
It'll take a long time for your response.
Maybe I'll call the staff at the PUC that they're busy. They got other things,
Yeah.
And if you were the lightning rod, you're the woman who stands up and says, send me your new technology and I will help you implement it into our system, into our laboratory. They will be a lot quicker to send it to you, wouldn't they?
They will. So if anyone from Cincinnati is listening right now, send me an email.
That's a great message.
Give them your website.
So it's www.dercouncil, all one word, .org. DER for Distributed Energy Resources
There you go.
Council.
Yeah.
Or Leslie at DERcouncil.org.
And your Twitter address, please.
I don't.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that?
I'll get one though.
We're going to take
Yeah.
a short break now.
So I can
so
set
Leslie
that up.
can-
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Hillary Weinberg. I'm the host of The Whole Gamut on ThinkTech Hawaii. See us live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. or on our YouTube channel to hear us talk about world affairs from Hawaii and beyond. See you then.
Ted Ralston, folks, host of our show at ThinkTech Hawaii called Where the Road Leads, where we talk about technology influencing the future of Hawaii. Technology, of course, is the art of solving problems. We always bring in interesting and informed guests who can see from different perspectives and different points of view how that future might unfold and how technology can assist us in getting there. So once again, join us 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Fridays. Ted Ralston, your host. And please, if you have ideas that you'd like us to address on this show or folks who you think should be on it, let us know.
This is fabulous. I love shows where everybody talks at once. It's like being French or Italian, you know. Everybody gets so excited about everything. Okay, so we have a Twitter question here. Speaking, this is a millennial question. Speaking of cliffhangers, so many cliffhangers. Here's a curveball. What are your favorite spots? I guess that means venues or opportunities to collaborate and convene in Honolulu. Not office? Well, maybe it has to be the office. But you say collaborate, okay? It's an easy word, it's overused sometimes. How is this collaboration going to happen? In what methodology, what venue, how are these people going to come together? Because it's more than just a passing conversation.
Right. Well, I think they're asking for where we'd like to go, actually.
Well,
but
yeah,
in terms
I'm
of,
expanding
but
on
I'm
it.
going to answer your question, so I don't get in trouble with you. I think it's an attitude. So, for instance, there's a question about time of use and what are the right rates and the time periods and all that kind of thing. And there's a lot of ways to analyze that. And rather than be in the office and have us sit here and come up with something that is indestructible and we can put forward to the PUC, we want to sit down with the utility first and say, great start. We're concerned about these things, though. What do you think about these ideas? And just get the conversation going. It's not that we'll always agree 100%, but it's so much better to talk beforehand and see what we can sort out and give the commission a complete package as possible. So I think of it as really an attitude that you have, more than
Bringing
just the
people together.
Yeah.
And making sure that everybody is aware and engaged and, what's the word I'm looking for? Invested.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And
Okay, what about the spot? The question did ask you
the
about a spot. Is it
Well-
Murphy's?
well,
There's a lot of energy discussed at Murphy's.
I know. Well, my husband, he's English, right? And he has his own seat at the bar there. So he knows. They know that because he likes their pie, something. The
wouldn't
shepherd's
know.
pie. Well, I don't know. Should I name places? Because then
can
it
we do
leads
that?
these
Kinds of places.
There's all kinds, so many great places in. I like Cafe Julia because it's right across the street from the legislature.
Yeah.
That's
Fresh
really
Cafe
Yeah, that's nice.
Fresh is really great. I love Aloha salads. That's a great place to kind of zip in, and they're really friendly and happy in there. I just love that place.
But I mean, now
like
it
the
takes on
ThinkTech
another,
show.
a sort of secondary idea, is wouldn't it be something, and I'm just picking this at random, if Cafe Julia became the go-to place for energy?
Yeah.
You want to find your energy friends, the industry that wants to talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's at Cafe Julia.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
go over there for lunch. It'll be there.
And they'll be there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it's funny you should say that because I'm not going to tell you where I go when I don't want to talk to anybody because I do have a place where I go where no one ever goes. And no one's ever there. And I don't have to do the, hi, great to see you. And I just want to go, please, God, give me 20 minutes to not talk about energy. So anyway, so there is a secret place. If someone wants the
You don't want
opposite.
to say that because
No.
Well, those are two things that I would commend for your consideration. One is the idea about the spot. I really think there's a value in that. And it's not in the PUC, it's not in the utility, it's not even in any of our offices. It's at a place like Cafe Julia. The other thing is to be the lightning rod. I remember so many projects at UH, research projects, they never really got off the ground until they started drawing people in from the mainland. Other scientists, manufacturers, there's a lot of projects that came alive as soon as they made a connection that way. Not only in money invested, but in intellectual property and engagement. So you could be right in the middle of that, Leslie. Wouldn't that be something?
It's going to be incredible.
Really fabulous.
I can already tell.
Yeah. We're counting on you. No pressure.
Yeah.
Now, what is the difference between this, DERC, and the Hawaii Solar Energy Association? I mean, how do they differ, and how do they come together?
And also HREA, because
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Industry.
Right,
Yeah.
HREA, REACH,
Right.
YPD Coalition. So the main distinction is that distributed DERC stands for Distributed Energy Resources, so it includes distributed generation. So the Hawaii Solar Energy Association, bless its heart, is a great organization. It was tough to leave. Is rooftop PV and solar hot water. So they're in the generating business. They're about generating electricity. With distributed energy resources, it could be generating, but also storage, so storing it, smart grid, demand response, EVs, so all the energy resources that are distributed. So it's not just making electricity, it could be using it at the right time, the smart grid companies that are really smart about, we're going to store this right now, measure this and send it off now. So that's the main distinction.
So is a number of these companies, are they more apply or applications, so it's using software, or are they actually making instrumentation, or what are the different companies, just sort of generally in terms of how you actually distribute or deliver your service? What services?
Well, for instance, Tabuchi is a manufacturer. Hybrid energy.
Storage system.
Well, they started with inverters, I believe. And forgive me, I'm still learning about all my members because I am just starting. But they're principally a manufacturer. Hybrid Energy is a consulting business, so they work with Tabuchi, and they're focused on DER. STEM and eGear are, I just want to say, they're like smart storage. So they have a certain system or way that they work with the electrical grid. Enphase, smart inverters, all the different services that these advanced inverters can provide to the grid. So I think that's the other thing, is it's a wide variety of solutions. We're not just, this is our solution and that's what we're going to advocate for. It depends, right? It depends on where you are on the grid, what it needs, what's the right thing. And that's the point, that it's looking at a wide array of different strategies to move us forward.
So if you're adding new members, what would you be looking for in terms of criteria for joining your DERs?
That they agree to our 5 pillars. So they agree, obviously, clean energy, that is something safe and reliable, that it is sustainable, that it's collaborative, and that they're collaborative. So some companies maybe don't want to work with the utility, or maybe they want to focus on off-grid. They don't want to be grid connected. They want to advocate for off-grid. But we're for grid connected, distributed.
What about competitors? You've listed 6 or 7, whatever it is. Suppose a competitor came down the pike and it was directly competitive with, say, Enphase. Would you take them into your umbrella, your tent?
Yes. And their my interesting life will continue on, because HSEA has
Everybody was a competitor.
Everybody was a competitor.
Yeah, believe me, some days. And that's why it is
This
that I
interesting life in the Chinese.
I know, and that's why I have a place where I like to eat lunch where no one knows me, because no one in the energy world, well, actually one person found me there, but hopefully he won't let up on where that is.
It must be a lawyer place.
No, it's not a lawyer place, and that's how it is. I managed to hide, and so so that was all about competitors, and it's tough sometimes, I have to say, because I would have my viewpoint, and that's one of the real benefits for a trade organization, to have an executive director, that I don't have any skin in the game, other than my belief and heart that I want to see Hawaii move forward. But if I advocate for a certain, device or a certain strategy, I'm going to make money here. I just want the organization to be successful and stay afloat.
Sure.
So
And stay positioned.
Right.
So it can have effect.
Right. So I'm looking at the big picture. I'm trying to guide us forward. But it is hard when you have different member companies that maybe disagree, or I can see things coming up right now with the PSIP and the DER dockets where there'll be different ideas about what is the best approach.
You're going to have to mediate their positions.
Yeah, I do, and I did before, and the HSEA board was great in that they would agree to strategies that wasn't necessarily 100% full on for their particular company, and they would agree to that for the benefit of the entire industry.
So I mentioned Cincinnati in the thought that there might be some seriously developed. I like Cincinnati.
Why? I haven't been there.
I always use Cincinnati as my case study.
My hearing aids quit on me.
But suppose now you look at 1,000 Bishop Street. What's the incubator there? What do they call the energy accelerator, right? And you find some promising young entrepreneurs who are in this area, who are working on technology, might be the same or even better technology. Because I want to say that you're in an area now which is likely to change.
Yes.
It is likely to evolve. The technology is going to move very fast. It's not just us; it's the whole country, the world.
Right.
And so you have to be mindful of catching the newest. And this is the laboratory. There are people out there who are, incentivized to build widgets that nobody else has.
Oh yeah, they're doing it right now.
You
In
have to
fact,
catch
when I
them. You
leave
have to
today,
catch
there
them.
might be something new that
They're probably
happens.
waiting for you
I
outside
know,
the studio.
really. So, and they should join our organization because we're the voice for innovation and moving ahead. And yeah, it's not standing still. And that's the tricky part. You're innovative, but you also need to put things in place that make sense. And you don't want to go. You don't want to redo it, right? So it's a
pillar
tricky
of
balance.
sustainability.
Yes.
But it's really for the long haul.
Yes.
Basically, not just flash in the pan.
Right.
Well, what are the challenges, Leslie? I can think of one, but I'll wait for you to identify the challenges.
Well, the biggest challenge is the fact that we have our own animal named after our problem, right? It's not just a duck, it's a nene, and it's not because it's our state bird. It's so fat, and it waddles. No, they don't waddle. They're very dignified, and they have a long neck. But what happens is on a beautiful, clear day with a little bit of sun, a lot of sun, but a little bit of wind, right? You get a lot of solar generation, not a lot of AC load. And there we are, like too much energy, like having too much money, right? What are we going to do with that on certain circuits, right? It dips down below what the utility can ramp down for, and they don't know what to do with that. And then the sun goes down, everyone comes home, they're cooking dinner, doing this and that, and then it ramps up, and the engineers are pulling their hair out, saying, oh my God, look at this. And so that's one of the biggest challenges is shifting load so that we can use what we have, we can put it in the bank, so to speak, and use it later in a way that makes sense and that's affordable. So that's I think first and foremost right now is
That's
the
a
thing that's really
technology
on our mind.
question.
It is a tech, and it's a cost question too.
Yeah.
So
I can see you. It's like vetting legislation. Okay, that's what Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. I'm going to ask you about that too. Hawaii Energy Policy Forum vets legislation. So you're in a position where you have the group credibility of going to the utility or going to the PUC or going out into the industry and saying, we vetted this technology. We vetted something new, and we talked to our people, we talked to our experts, we did outreach on it, and we are satisfied that this should be adopted. And we would like you, the utility, for example, to consider it. And we're going to introduce you, we're going to make a match here. This technology and you've been asking for it, you've been talking about trying to get it, we're going to suggest to you. So you could be a vetting organization for new technology, and you could actually, make it happen. I see that as a very important role because we don't have that right now. Everybody just comes up with their own, or they drop their own, as the case may be.
yeah, right. Or they go and they talk to the utility independently.
Right.
And it'd be
It's a
interesting to
free-for-all.
hear from the utility how many different vendors go and speak to them individually with their own particular agenda.
Right.
So it's a lot
And some of
going
them never
on.
get in.
I'm sure. Yeah, I wonder how many try to get in and don't.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like being a matchmaker in
Yeah,
a way
yeah.
of having these organizations. Again, it's a variety of solutions. So
Yes, what's nice also is that you do have production involved, so you can see, okay, is this really feasible? I mean, can you really do this? Can we really sustain this and make it cost effective when you do produce any of the either services or the equipment, or, programs you develop? And that's the vetting part that's also important, is it commercially feasible?
yes, and all of these companies are these aren't just things they've just thought of, that they are commercially feasible now, and they are in action and being used.
We can
So,
make them
yeah.
great.
So
We can put them on a big board here.
Mhm.
We can make them famous. Even the people in Cincinnati will hear about them.
Well, and they can vet all of these new, like as Jay says, okay, these pilot projects that come out of Accelerator, any of these may work, but may not. And having companies that are, that they're in the business actually vetting and say, yeah, we think this is going to help us move forward, would be very helpful to have.
Yeah, it
this.
would be a new player. What we call this, a new player joins the industry. So, you got a legislative package yet? Are you thinking about that? Will you be going to the ledge?
I will, yes, and have been thinking about that. I think front and center right now is the question of incentives. Do we want the state and the policymakers to think about how they want to put any kind of incentive forward to, serve as a catalyst for us to get there? I mean, we know, for instance, with distributed generation, because of the DER docket, not to use too many acronyms. I want to do a speech one day where it's all acronyms, the whole thing. Wouldn't that just be hilarious? Would you let me come on if I managed to put that on? I would.
We'd love it,
I think that would just be so good. So I found myself doing that. So, the grid supply, which is the new version of net energy metering, we might come up against some real limits this next year because of the 25 megawatts that has been allocated. The commission has set to review that in 18 months, but we're going to reach that way before then. So the other option is the cell supply. So that's storage, or being home all day, but not many people do that. So, and it's more expensive, depending on your load and what you get and all that kind of thing. So we're looking at incentives. Well, what would be the right incentive, and how would it be introduced? So that's definitely one of our interests.
I think that's been
So-
a kind of a vacuum, because we've had a very limited number of incentives conceptually. And we need to put incentives out and pick up on these new ideas, to encourage them
Right.
also to have a robust system.
Right.
Well, last point, we're running out of time, is you're going to have some kind of open house. Now, we didn't discuss this before the show. You may not want to, make a public statement about where and when, but at least you could talk about the open house in general.
The open house.
Aren't you having some kind of,
Oh, it was
Gathering?
last week.
oh,
You missed it.
We wondered where you were.
Oh, but you know-
Party.
oh.
But I'm having a party at my house
that-
on Saturday,
He was-
and you haven't responded. It's my energy soiree. You always ignore me, and
He never reads
I would
his
love for you to
emails.
come.
Okay,
Just read emails.
that's-
He just,
And then he writes,
he sends
That's
them
the
out.
point about this. We always know what we're talking about. It's
Yeah.
okay, Ray, this is your turn now. Summarize and
Oh, my
comment.
goodness. Well, all I can say is, good luck to you,
Thank you.
Leslie. I think you're right, still on the pointy head of the spear,
Yeah.
and I think this is what we need to move forward. I think you've done all that you could with the solar PV guys, and now you're spreading out to make sure that they have a place to connect to. And there are people out there that are helping to facilitate the grid working well with the utility, and I think it's great. I wish
way
you
to
luck,
start the
and
new year.
look forward to you coming
Thanks,
back in
Ray.
a few months or weeks,
means
if
a
you
lot,
will,
yeah.
and telling us where things are going.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
How much of that do you agree with, Sharon?
I agree 100%.
There it is.
There you go.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Ray. Great discussion.
Thank you, everybody.
We are behind you.
Yeah,
We are with you.
I
We want
love
you to
that.
succeed.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
I really feel